saint. Paul, taking on the role of prosecutor, is presenting the argument this whole entire time. But his argument is not presented to the judge, it's presented to the defendant, as if he was trying to just tell you, look, the judge already knows. You need to stop denying the problem. And that's where we're at. And we get here, right? We kind of read this thing, right? By the way, what's the verse? It's no one is righteous, no, not one. Every mouth may be stopped and will be held accountable to God. That's the key in all of this, right? That's the verdict. The climax of the indictment here, chapter 3, kind of occurs in this way. The universe is guilty. And when I say the universe is guilty, I mean people. Right? Sin came into the world because of one man's sin. We're all guilty. So I don't need any alien questions later on because I said the word universe. People are like, well, that's all unidentified flying object. Yeah. Well, or things, right? I'm going to mix it up. All right, anyway, before we can rejoice, you gotta understand this. This is why we read this, this is why we study this kind of stuff. And it kind of, I'm going to read the verse and I'll tell you. In verses 9 through 20, which we're going to cover today, and I know it seems like a lot, but that's why I picked the pace here a little bit. She wants to pass. Yeah. Good. Machine gun English. So as we get in here, if you have a Bible or Bible app, Romans chapter 3, verses 9 through 20. If you don't have that, it's on the screen. I can't guarantee that it'll stay on the screen. So that's where we're at. Romans chapter 3, verses 9 says, what then? Are we better than they? Not at all. For we have previously charged both Jews and Greeks that they are under sin. As it is written, there is none righteous. No, not one. There is none who understands. There is none who seeks after God. They all have turned aside, and have altogether become unprofitable. There is none who does good. No, not one. Their throat is an open tomb. With their tongues they have predicted deceit, practiced deceit. The poison of asp is under their lips, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Destruction and misery are in their ways. And the way of peace they have not known. There is no fear of God before their eyes. Now we know that whatever the law says, it says to those who are under the law, that every mouth may be stopped, and all the world may become guilty before God. Therefore, by the deeds of the law, no flesh will be justified in his sight. For by the law is the knowledge of sin. And as we stop right there, there's a couple of things in here we got to kind of get out of the way before we really get into the verse. It's really fun, right? One of the things we read verses like this, and verses like kind of last week, 2 weeks ago's verses, and it doesn't all mean rainbows and butterflies and well, I thought we were supposed to feel good when we came to church. I know you think that because you probably read some of those websites. And we do want to feel good because of our salvation. We don't want to feel good because of our sin. There's the problem, right? In fact, what we want to do is we want to go horrible because of our sin, so that we run to God so that we can feel good and rejoice in what He has done. Now, when we get it wrong, it's actually we make it about us. And a lot of people like to do that, right? They like to make it about them. In fact, most people like to make it about them, but it can't be about each and every one of us individually. You understand the problem with that, right? It's an automatic concept. It's all about you, and it's all about me, and it's all about you, 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 and all about you, and all about right, and right, you have potential. Okay, and so we get in all this stuff. What happens is we're all wrong because it's all selfishness. It can't be all selfish, especially because we're not God. And so before we can rejoice in the righteousness of God and understand the revelation of God that's revealed in the gospel. Now, the gospel is not all of God, but it's all of God that we need to know. And then, how much more of God is there? Well, just in eternity. Right? You'll be chasing down the glories of God from eternity to eternity. And that's not even that makes sense, right? That's not saying it's infinity, it's not infinity. It's all right. That doesn't even make sense. Well, we don't know what that looks like. That's an eternity thing, right? It's just all the time. New glories of God. Forever and ever. That's awesome. But before we can really enjoy that, we have to feel the weight of our unrighteousness. Because if you understand the weight of your unrighteousness, then you gain an appreciation for His righteousness. In fact, then you gain an appreciation, right? Like this. If you understand the depths of your sin, right, then you'll understand the treasure that God has. And that's important. So we have to do this. We have to look at these things. So it's great for the church to review some of these things. And as we go through today, some of the things I want to share with you actually. Probably, I think some of this in the slide show, but we're just going to skip right past that. And if we get to it, I'll skip the slide later. Nope. Let's see. Okay. If you guys don't know, Charles Swindoll, the preacher / author who lots of Bible studies, talks about this passage of scripture. He wrote actually in his book Salvation. If depravity were blue, we'd be blue all over. If you cut us, we'd be blue. If you cut into our minds, our thoughts would be blue. If you cut into our vision, our sight would be blue, and we would see blue images. Okay? This is the thing. Blue images, by the way, he's talking about, he says they're selfishness, lust, and greed, and desire. That's what we have in us. Right? And he says if you cut into our heart, the emotions would be blue. It doesn't mean the blood pumping much, but you already covered the blood part. So, right? Anyway, full of hatred and revenge and blame. If you cut into our will, you find deep blue decisions and responses. What was his point? His point was actually, if you just look at man, understand special pride. Okay, if you just look at us, just people. And sometimes when we talk about depravity, we're going to talk about today, Paul was talking about it here, the depravity of man. This is the charge. We're all under sin. We've all done it true. We've all done our own. We've all got it wrong. We've all of us. We don't get to put people in categories and judge them based on did I do it better than you? Was I smarter than you? Did I have more than you? It doesn't matter. You're all guilty. Right? Now, me too, but most of you. Okay, so, and so when he talks about this, that's the depravity of man. And you look at the depravity of man, what the depravity of man doesn't mean is we're all as bad as we possibly could be.